You are listening to stories at Chubby Orange Audio. Wish you an enjoyable listening experience. I make millions every hour thanks to my sharp tongue. In a reality show, this rich young lady brought along 4 guys following her around, treating me like a servant and making me help them carry luggage. I just stood there motionless, not bothering to move. A thick-skinned older guy saw this and immediately approached me, acting all high and mighty like an elder. "Little sister, this must be tiring for you. I'm getting old, so I have to shamelessly ask you to help me first." I immediately smiled sweetly in response, my voice sweeter than sugar. "Brother, I'm not tired at all. Your mother was the one who suffered. After all, with a face bigger than a city gate like yours, giving birth to you must have been absolutely excruciating." As soon as I finished speaking, a crisp voice suddenly rang in my head. "You just delivered an ultimate savage comeback X1. Your savage account has just been credited with 1 million yuan. I'm Maya Wu, a famous actress known for being meek and mild, or in other words, the type of person everyone thinks they can bully. Fortunately, my manager, Sister Yang, who's both beautiful and kind-hearted, got me a variety show called Smart Dorm Life. The character the show designed for me was very clear, a background supporting role. My job was to serve as a foil for the image of Grace Zhao, the fair-skinned, beautiful rich young lady and heiress of Longtang Corporation. I heard that when Grace saw my expressionless face on the tablet, she was extremely satisfied, and even gave me an extra 10,000 yuan bonus because of my deadpan expression. I was quite happy to hear this, but who knew that right before the show started, I encountered a robbery. While chasing the thief, I unfortunately got injured and fell unconscious. When I woke up, a cute voice like a steamed bun suddenly appeared in my head, calling itself the Get Rich Through Savage Comeback System. The system said that as long as I delivered sharp, tongued comebacks that drove opponents crazy, I'd be rewarded with 1 million yuan each time. After saying this, the system immediately disappeared without a trace. Smart Dorm Life is a reality TV show about daily life that broadcasts live. A total of 6 guests, 2 women and 4 men, live together for 20 days in a seaside villa on Juzhou Island. To increase authenticity and drama, the show set up over 2,000 hidden cameras throughout the island. Except for the young lady Grace, no one knew about this. The weather on Juzhou Island is scorching hot year-round, and the coastal road to the villa is both long and difficult to walk. The production team only prepared 2 tiny electric tricycles for the guests to transport their luggage. But Grace alone brought 4 26-inch suitcases. The others, wanting to look good on camera, weren't willing to be outdone either. After a tense argument, Ian Bo, the recently popular internet heartthrob, and I were kicked out of the first group. After eliminating us, veteran actor Phoenix Feng didn't forget to put on a kind act, patting Ian's shoulder consolingly. "Young man, strong and healthy as you are, this stretch of road shouldn't be too difficult for you, right?" After saying this, he immediately jumped on the tricycle and rode away. Ian smiled fakely and said yes, but as soon as he looked around and saw no cameras, he immediately got angry and spat, cursing directly. Damn, isn't he just a washed-up actor trying to make a comeback? If it weren't for this show, I wouldn't even bother to notice him, acting like he's some big star. I was so unremarkable that he completely ignored me. It wasn't until I dragged my suitcase past him that he remembered there was another person here. Ian immediately stepped forward, getting right in my face with a threatening tone. "Hey, pretend you didn't hear what I just said. Got it?" Poor him. This scene was clearly recorded by the hidden cameras. Netizens watching the live stream immediately started discussing heatedly. Phoenix is a famous award-winning actor from back in the day after all. Isn't this internet celebrity being a bit too arrogant? Internet celebrity or award-winning actor, what's the difference? Don't they all end up doing live stream sales? Phoenix fans shouldn't get too cocky. Who's that pretty girl walking ahead of Ian? What's her name? She looks decent enough. Too bad she doesn't have any outstanding characteristics. Grace and the others had already reached the villa early to rest, but no one bothered to drive out to pick us up. Under the scorching sun, Ian and I dragged our luggage, soaked in sweat, before finally reaching the villa. As soon as we entered, we saw Phoenix greeting us warmly, pretending to pat our heads with fake concern. Oh my, I'm getting confused in my old age. How could I forget about you guys? Come on, hurry inside and rest where it's cool. His words sounded nice, but the trash can nearby was full of discarded ice cream wrappers. Even a blind person could tell they had just been enjoying themselves. Due to the cameras, Ian couldn't get angry and could only nod with a forced smile, though he couldn't resist making a few sarcastic remarks to Phoenix. Seeing this, Grace immediately stepped forward to display her spoiled princess skills. Everyone stop arguing. We're all tired, let's rest for a bit. The two young masters watching the drama, Austin Tang and famous singer Chase Song, also quickly joined in, actively trying to mediate. Netizens watching this immediately got bored. I was doing my background role extremely seriously when suddenly the voice in my head rang out like a corpse coming back to life, shouting shrilly, "Start roasting them. Hurry up and roast them. What are you waiting for?" I ignored it and quietly dragged my luggage up to the bedroom on the second floor. As soon as I stepped out of the bedroom, I saw the other 5 people standing in a line in front of the stairs. From this formation, I could tell they were about to pull some trick again. Sure enough, as soon as I stepped down the last stair, Phoenix immediately turned around, revealing the suitcase behind him, speaking in his familiar fake tone. "Ah, little fox here. Because I was so unremarkable. Phoenix directly called me Little Fox." "I'm Maya," I softly corrected him, but obviously my reminder had no effect whatsoever. "Little Fox, don't underestimate yourself just because you're a girl. Girls are very capable these days. Women can hold up half the sky. Unlike these pretty boys who look the part but have fake muscles everywhere. They cry for their parents after walking just a few steps. Can't even carry a single suitcase." Ian, caught on camera, couldn't fight back and just stood there smiling stiffly, staring at Phoenix, probably afraid of being maliciously edited by the show. The other 3 took this opportunity to pile on, all joining Phoenix's side. Though each said different things, their goal was the same, to treat me like a pack mule, making me their free porter. All 5 of them knew full well that this show wouldn't care whether a nobody like me lived or died. Netizens watching the live stream immediately started discussing loudly. "Phoenix is making a fool of himself. Haha, that aged appearance is just sad to watch. I feel so bad for our Ian. That look of wanting to speak but not daring to is so adorable. Wait, does anyone else think this is wrong? 4 men and 1 girl ganging up to bully 1 nobody. Don't go too far. Are there still people this knave? That girl called Little Fox is obviously just acting pitiful. Who could force her anyway?" I had no idea about the netizens' debates, but I knew clearly that if I didn't say something now, Ding Ding would definitely use $1,000,000 to crack my skull open. Seeing me still standing there dazed, Phoenix immediately put on a friendly smile, pushing the suitcase in front of me, speaking in a sickeningly sweet voice. "Little sister, this must be tiring for you. I'm getting old, so I have to shamelessly ask you to help me first." I immediately shook my head. "I'm not tired at all. Your mother was the one who suffered. After all, with a face bigger than a city gate like yours, giving birth must have been absolutely excruciating. Ding. You just delivered an ultimate savage comeback X1. Your savage account has just been credited with 1,000,000 yuan. Ding Ding's sweet steamed bun voice rang out joyfully in my head. I stared wide-eyed in disbelief. Across from me, Phoenix also displayed the exact same expression as mine. It seemed like he couldn't believe his own ears, pointing at himself and asking in bewilderment in front of the camera, "Little Fox, were you just talking about me?" I raised an eyebrow and replied, "Are you a dog? Can't understand human speech." This time, not only Phoenix but all 4 others were left gaping in shock. Ultimate Savage Comeback X2. Account credited with 1,000,000 yuan. Hearing the sound of money entering my account, I immediately became enthusiastic about continuing my savage attacks. "You keep saying you're old. Those who know think you're just over 30. Those who don't might think you're some antique that got imported into the villa." Ultimate Savage Comeback X3. Account credited with 1,000,000 yuan. Old rooster with red painted tail feathers pretending to be a spicy chicken, you knockoff. All of them turned to stone simultaneously. And Little Fox my ass. Did hair tonic seep into your brain? Can't even remember a single wrinkle on your face. So you can't remember this sister's name is Maya. 10 consecutive hits, each one sharp as a knife. Grace and the others stared with wide eyes and gaping mouths, frozen in place. The live comment section exploded. I was going crazy too. In my head, Ding Ding's steamed bun voice was cheering non-stop. Ultimate Savage Comeback X10. Congratulations, host, for unlocking the title Savage Queen. A reward of 10 million yuan will be transferred to your Alipay account within 24 hours after the show ends. Please check for confirmation. After my barrage of savage comebacks, Phoenix didn't have a single chance to fight back. Netizens went absolutely wild, with comments flooding in. Help me, Sister Maya must have just eaten thorns dipped in salt. Look at Phoenix's face, it's gone completely pale with rage. I've been disgusted with old man Phoenix for ages. Always acting like an elder to bully others. Thank you, Sister Maya, for bringing justice. Oh my god, every single line was a killing blow. I suggest the network release this collection of classic roasts as a souvenir. Buy it and keep it at home. You won't even need to speak to intimidate people to death. How about we pool money to hire Sister Maya's mouth for New Year's, to deal with those annoying relatives who like to meddle. However, Phoenix's accumulated fan base in the entertainment industry over the past decade wasn't small either. They immediately fought back, frantically criticizing me for being uneducated, rude, and not knowing how to respect elders. On the other side of the screen, Phoenix seemed to read his fans' thoughts and immediately used actions to respond to their criticism of me. While Grace and the other four were still standing there stunned, not knowing how to react, Phoenix immediately put his left hand over his chest, his face contorted in pain, moaning as if some incurable disease had relapsed and he was about to die. His fans, seeing this, became even more frantic, immediately digging up my dark history to try to knock me down with one blow. Unfortunately, I'd maintained such a harmlessly sweet, well-behaved image throughout my career that it was boring. They couldn't find a single scandal. Some crazy fans even started admiring me, partly out of sympathy for a small, unremarkable actress being bullied, and partly seeing me as a role model of overcoming difficulties, diligently learning savage comebacks as life skills. But most of Phoenix's loyal fans still thought I was a White Lotus specialist in stirring up trouble, immediately arguing with netizens. When fans started crying that their idol was pitiful for not being respected by junior colleagues, Phoenix also performed deep cooperation, immediately making his eyes red-rimmed. Fans seeing this became even more agitated, making noise everywhere. Witnessing this type of drama scene for the first time, I curiously stepped closer, tilting my head to look more carefully. When I discovered his eyes were actually glistening as if he might really cry, I was shocked and unconsciously raised my hand to scratch my nose, exclaiming in amazement, "Really? Actually crying?" Hearing this, Phoenix froze for a few seconds, then bit his lip, turned away, and refused to look at me anymore. Netizens immediately captured this moment, turning it into a hilarious meme. The expression combined with that line was so memorable that after the show aired, this meme immediately became popular everywhere. After defeating Phoenix, who specialized in acting like an elder, the way Grace and the other four looked at me became much more cautious. After all, they didn't know who this machine gun of mine would target next. Without an elder to lead them, the other four didn't dare use their numbers to bully me anymore. Everyone obediently dragged their own suitcases upstairs. Grace's luggage was both numerous and heavy, so in the end, Chase and the others had to help carry it upstairs. The show's marketing department immediately acted quickly, creating a hashtag that soon climbed to trending searches. The topic of handsome guys being gentlemen and helping carry things always wins favor, and as soon as it was released, it immediately received many compliments from passersby. However, true fans who watched the entire show from beginning to end had no mercy and immediately fought back. Gentlemen, my ass. When they were ganging up to bully Sister Wu, why didn't they show their gentlemanly charm then? How ridiculous. With someone opening the floodgates, immediately an entire army of justice warriors jumped in to help, quickly drowning out the comments praising the male group. Chase and the others were all veterans in the entertainment industry, and quickly realized which direction things would go after the broadcast. So all 5 of them hurriedly formed a small group to deal with their common enemy, me. In everyone's eyes, the majority is always right, and the minority is definitely wrong. If only Phoenix had a conflict with me, that could be seen as a personal dispute between 2 people. But now all 5 people, Grace, Austin, Ian, Chase, plus Phoenix, were all in conflict with me, so the fault clearly lay with me. Obviously, I didn't know how to integrate with this group. After finishing cleaning my room, I ran into Ian in the hallway. In just a few hours, he had gone from giving me a thumbs up after my verbal battle with Phoenix and being as enthusiastic as close brothers, to becoming a cold male god who walked past without even glancing at me. Even when I actively greeted him, Ian still ignored me as if he hadn't seen anything. When I went downstairs, I happened to run into Grace and her group of 4, who had just returned from shopping. They were chatting happily, as close as old friends, creating a lively atmosphere that made others both envious and jealous. In contrast, Anne and I stood at opposite ends of the villa, as incompatible as fire and water. Even an idiot could easily notice this change in atmosphere, but who cared about the feelings of a small, unknown actress? I didn't mind at all. This situation was actually very convenient for making money. One savage comeback equals 1 million yuan. I hadn't forgotten that. Seemingly sensing my thoughts, Ding Ding's adorable steamed bun voice rang out excitedly in my head. Hurry up and deliver savage comebacks. Strong savage comebacks mean 1 million yuan. Right then, Grace walked over from the opposite side, took a bag from Austin's hands, rummaged through it for a while, then pulled out a small yellow bag and gently handed it to me. Sorry, Maya, when we went to buy groceries, we wanted to invite you along, but seeing you and Ian looked so tired, we thought we'd let you rest a bit more. She said this while looking up at me with sparkling eyes full of apparent guilt. Maya, this is some food I bought especially for you. Since I wasn't sure if you're allergic to seafood, I just bought some common vegetables like potatoes and pumpkin. You won't mind, will you? Before I could react, Austin beside her had already lost patience, immediately grabbing the bag from Grace's hands and shoving it into mine, speaking in a voice full of disdain. Mind. What right does someone like you have to be picky about food? Look at those cheap clothes you're wearing. If you're not worthy of abalone and lobster, then just obediently eat potatoes and vegetables. Grace immediately put on an angry act, lightly punching Austin's chest and playfully scolding him. Chase also quickly helped defend him with a few words. Phoenix, after his earlier defeat, didn't dare make any noise, just stood silently in the corner, staring intently at Grace, not knowing what he was thinking. Netizens at this point began arguing fiercely. One group criticized Austin for being arrogant and looking down on others, losing all goodwill toward him. Another group quickly found out about Austin's wealthy background, saying he was just straightforward, naive, and honest. Yet another group sat waiting for my classic savage comeback. However, this time I wasn't interested in making sarcastic remarks because everything Austin had just said was completely true. I calmly took the bag, quickly pulled out a perfectly sized egg from inside, held it high, then smashed it straight down on Austin's head. The sticky yellow and white contents flowed out, completely ruining his stylish hairstyle. Austin stood stunned in place, then roared angrily in a hoarse voice, "Damn it, are you crazy? Do you know how much this hairstyle cost me?" I tilted my head to look at him and raised one finger, asking with complete sincerity, "Is your hairstyle worth 1 million yuan?" This hit Austin's sore spot exactly, and he immediately exploded, shouting loudly, 1 million yuan? Are you insane? So it's not worth 1 million. Then it's pretty cheap too, isn't it? Just regular stuff after all. Tesk tesk. One sentence immediately poked the hornet's nest. Austin immediately threw away the refined young master image he had prepared, opening his mouth to curse non-stop, then didn't forget to emphasize his noble status. Look at your poor appearance. You'll never set foot in Ding Sheng Group in this lifetime. Do you know who I am? I coldly shook my head. I don't care who you are, but there's one thing that's definitely true. Chase, who had been watching the drama, also curiously joined in. What's that? I looked at Austin, who was acting fierce in front of me, and gently beckoned him to come a little closer. By reflex, he immediately took a step forward. When he realized he had just acted on instinct, he angrily snorted, extremely disgusted with his unconscious action just now. He raised his chin high, about to say something to regain the face he had just lost in front of the camera. But before he could speak, I had already quickly delivered a line that would haunt him for the rest of his life, making him lose sleep whenever he remembered it. No matter who you are, I will always be your daddy. A father teaching his son is the way of the world. Before Austin could fully understand the meaning of that sentence, he was hit by an extremely powerful finger flick to his forehead, freezing in place. A crisp sound rang out, the clear snap echoing throughout the large living room, making Grace and the group watching nearby shiver. Austin just stood there stunned, and after a long while still had no reaction whatsoever. By the time Austin slowly understood and looked up to the sky screaming, wanting to settle accounts with me, I had already calmly turned around, picked up the food bag, and walked straight into the kitchen. The comment section was once again filled with laughter. Haha, help me? I'm dying of laughter. Sister Wu really doesn't make a move unless she has to, but when she does, she kills people on the spot. Sister Wu's life rule: I'm not just good at savage comebacks, I also get physical. Mixed in were some perverted CP comments. Am I the only one who finds the pairing between the arrogant, hot-tempered young master and the cold, dominant big sister extremely adorable? That's enough. CPs should stay on the ground, don't go all the way to hell. Look at our CP. The young master is arrogant to everyone but turns into a pitiful wet kitten when he meets Sister Wu. You guys are really too scary. How can you even ship this? Facts prove that the strange CPs between me, Austin, and even Phoenix not only could be shipped, but thanks to the godly editing by the great master Juji Shiba on Station B, they became explosively popular. Anyone who watched it went through the same emotional journey. Oh my god, what kind of demonic CP is this? Never seen anything like it. No, I have to watch it again, I'm getting addicted. It's over, I can't close my mouth anymore. This type of teasing is killing me. Master, hurry up with part 2. Don't make me wait at your door forever. Later, when I accidentally discovered the Fox Spirit video on Austin's phone and the others, I could only sigh at how terrifyingly powerful video editors truly are. Austin and the others exchanged glances, their hearts simultaneously screaming, "Don't talk nonsense anymore. She's even scarier than we thought." This destroyer is finished. After being attacked by me several times without mercy, Austin finally understood why Phoenix's eyes turned red every time he looked at me. When their eyes met, there seemed to be flashes of intense empathy, only missing embracing each other and crying together. But when they looked at me, their eyes immediately showed obvious worriness and hesitation. Can't advance, can't retreat. Seeing this, Chase immediately got the idea to show off in front of the camera. He had handsome looks, red lips and white teeth, and could play instruments. Holding a guitar and singing love songs was indeed very attractive to girls. After preparing the food, Chase hurriedly ran upstairs, grabbed his shiny green guitar, walked up to Grace, made a knight's bow, and said in a sweet voice, "Dear little princess, may I be your personal knight and sing you a love song?" Grace laughed happily and answered softly, "Yes." Chase's melodious singing echoed throughout the villa. Combined with his professional 30-degree head tilt, he immediately captured the hearts of many female fans. Grace wasn't to be outdone either. Thanks to the singing, she stood up to dance along, her flowing dress highlighting her exceptional grace. The comment section became lively once again. This ship is killing me. The princess and knight are truly made for each other. I'm shipping this couple hard. Brother Chase's loving gaze is so deep. There must be an entire ocean in his eyes. Grace's dancing is so beautiful, she's truly a heartbreaker. Phoenix, who was a tone-deaf actor, Austin, the arrogant young master, and An, the professional background player, had absolutely no ability to appreciate love songs. Though they were uncomfortable watching Chase show off in front of Grace, they could only sit and watch silently. In the midst of this lively singing, Austin decided to voluntarily come before me to offer his life. How about it? Pretty jealous, right? Grace has someone volunteering to sing for her, while no one even bothers to sing for you. Phoenix beside him couldn't stop him in time and hurriedly backed away 2 steps, adopting a defensive posture to avoid getting blood splattered on him. He deliberately distanced himself from Austin, but his furtive glances clearly showed he was eagerly anticipating the young master getting roasted by me. Hearing this, I just casually glanced over and asked back, "Do you know the overpass on Qinglai Road in Lin?" Austin was stunned for a moment, then shook his head. "I've heard of it, but what does that bridge have to do with you not having anyone to sing for you?" I slowly replied, "There, you don't need to say a word. Just bring 100 yuan and walk by, and 7 or 8 handsome guys will naturally rush over to sing for you." I licked my lips, my voice becoming more mysterious. "If you're willing to spend more money, you can even watch more passionate performances." After hearing this, both the arrogant young master and the other gentlemen stared at me with wide eyes and gaping mouths, looking like they'd never seen the world before. Ian wrinkled his nose and said quietly, "I've heard rumors about this too. Austin was the first to regain his composure, immediately seizing on the loophole in my words, smugly saying, "Those guys singing under the bridge have nothing to do with you not having anyone to sing for you. Don't try to deflect." I nodded in confirmation. "You're absolutely right, it has nothing to do with it. I only said that to let you know that with your abilities, if you went to beg under that bridge, you'd definitely starve to death. No talent, no skills, clumsy and lazy, and aside from being good at spending money, only your face is barely acceptable." Austin's complexion changed from black to purple to yellow, faster than a traffic light. Phoenix and Ian looked at each other, both thinking the same thing. Serves him right. Courting death, why provoke her for no reason? Finally, Austin got so angry his face turned bright red, jumping up and shouting, "So what? At least I have this handsome face." Netizens immediately started discussing excitedly. "Oh my god, help me, this shipping is crazy. Imagine the young master's inner thoughts, she's complimenting my good looks. Oh god, the young master is blushing, never seen that before." CP fans, wake up. That blushing is from embarrassment, not shyness. It's clearly red from anger. The online debate was still heating up when the battle in the villa quickly ended with one gentle sentence from me, "Handsome. Is it for sale then?" After hearing this, Austin stared wide-eyed with his mouth agape, standing like a statue. Phoenix and Ian beside him quickly grabbed each other, afraid the other might faint on the spot. Good lord, they were clearly filming a serious show. So how did they suddenly hear such soul-shaking words? In the villa, the elegant singing and dancing was beautiful to watch, but it couldn't compete with the earth-shattering battle over here. Soon, all camera lenses focused on Austin and me. Chase and Grace weren't stupid. Seeing the atmosphere had clearly changed, they quickly ended their performance, with Grace lifting her dress and walking over to stand beside me, smiling gently. "It looks so fun over here with Maya. What are you guys talking about? I want to join too." I immediately shook my head and refused. "You shouldn't, it's too dirty for your ears. You wouldn't want to hear it." This one sentence made Austin so angry he forgot how to walk. He bent down to gain momentum, aggressively charging his head straight at me. I gently leaned aside to dodge. Austin immediately lost his momentum and crashed straight into Chase's arms, who was standing nearby watching the excitement. That hard-as rock head aimed directly at the dangerous area below Chase's waist. Fortunately, Chase was quick with his hands and eyes, immediately dodging to the side. Otherwise, Smart Dorm Life would have had to change its name to Smart Dorm Life, Bird Hunting Edition. Men under any circumstances cannot let others doubt their capabilities. Seeing suspicious looks from Phoenix, Ian, and Grace all directed toward his lower region, Chase immediately flashed a confident smile, using an extremely masculine voice to prove how healthy he was. The scene was chaotic beyond belief. Netizens were rolling on the floor laughing, even giving this scene the title, "Rare Footage Revealing the Secret of Human Ancestors Successfully Domesticating Wild Quadrupeds." Hilarious moments followed one after another from beginning to end. Netizens unanimously complained of jaw pain from laughing so much. The show's meme count immediately skyrocketed by 10.86 million. My Savage Comeback account received another huge sum of money. After Austin's disruption, Chase and Grace's Snow White Princess and Night performance completely failed to gain any traction. But life isn't just about flowers and romance. There's also the reality of daily necessities right in front of us. All 5 of them together couldn't produce a single person who knew how to cook or handle seafood properly. After much discussion, Grace finally suggested just making seafood hot pot for convenience. Hot pot is easy, just clean the ingredients, prepare the broth and dipping sauces, then dip and eat immediately. Hearing the dinner decision, Austin immediately approached me again with a provocative tone. "Oh my, you eat so frugally. Still just vegetables, potatoes, and plain rice. When the hot pot is ready later, you can beg me for some. Maybe I'll take pity on you and give you some good food." The comment section immediately became lively again. Why is the young master's attention-seeking behavior so elementary school-like? Haha, this is hilarious. The evil CP ship is getting stronger every day. Just as netizens were busy laughing, Austin got impatient and hastily opened the pot lid to check, immediately getting burned by the hot steam and screaming. I silently gave him the middle finger in my heart, but still quickly pulled him to the sink to run cold water on his hand. The cold water flowing over the swollen red skin quickly relieved the burning sensation. This wasn't the first time Austin had done something stupid like this in front of cameras, but this time he felt something very different. His chest suddenly felt hot, both warm and moist. The feeling wasn't exactly uncomfortable. It was even a bit tingly in a strange way. It seemed like something was gradually growing from that invisible gap. At that moment, Austin's throat felt like it was being squeezed, and he lost his voice completely. The words he had prepared in his head got stuck in his throat, leaving him in a dilemma. Finally, he could only stammer with extreme difficulty, "Is cooking rice really that hard? If you really can't do it, then tonight this young master will eat a little less and share some with you." After saying this, Austin, like a child who had just caused trouble, immediately looked away and didn't dare face me anymore. This reaction immediately made Phoenix and Ian, who were watching the drama, so frustrated they slapped their thighs hard. Ian screamed internally, "Grandpa, are you even a man? Toughen up!" Phoenix stared wide-eyed and cursed silently. Good heavens, is this still the same arrogant young master from usual? This is too much. Netizens became even more excited. "Help me! Cooking rice alone creates such sweet romantic drama. Look at the bitter expressions of Phoenix and Ian. They look like old mothers frustrated that their son can't get a girlfriend." "Young master, don't be so weak. Just use the ultimate move of forceful kissing. We support you." Imagining the young master's inner thoughts, "Let's see if you can escape from my grasp this time." I finished applying burn ointment to Austin's hand, and after a while finally snapped out of it, realizing that he seemed to have said something to me earlier. "What did you just say?" Austin stared in disbelief, and after a long pause, reluctantly repeated, "I asked if cooking rice is really that hard. Isn't it something anyone with hands can do?" Before he could finish, Austin had already angrily brushed my hand away and ran off. But before leaving, he still loudly declared with full arrogance, "Maya, even if I throw away my food, let it fall on the ground, or feed it to dogs, I will never let you eat a single bite. Conversely, don't you dare expect me to eat anything you cook." I couldn't understand his neurotic nonsense at all, so I turned to look at Phoenix and Ian standing nearby. They were busy washing vegetables, and seeing me look over, they quickly gestured to me with their hands. The gesture was extremely simple, but the meaning was clearer: Austin has mental problems. I immediately understood indeed. Caring for special children is society's collective responsibility. Netizens laughed until they nearly flipped over. Young master fans sigh. "This kid really doesn't learn his lesson. Told him not to provoke Sister Wu, but he won't listen. Such elementary school level declarations. I don't believe that when the seafood hot pot is ready, the young master won't obediently bring it over to invite Sister Wu to eat together. I bet 1 coin that when the hot pot is ready, the young master will come over here to show off and get roasted by Sister Wu again. Betting? I bet 2 coins, 3 coins, 1 coin plus 2 coins, 2 coins plus 3 coins." The livestream chat instantly turned into a noisy online casino. But gambling never has good endings. Thousands of netizens were all led by the nose by that first bettor. Not one person guessed the correct direction of the plot. My dinner was seaweed rice rolls filled with potatoes, pickled eggs, peanuts, mashed potatoes, and sausage. Rice rolls use simple ingredients, are quick and convenient, and don't take much time. When I finished cleaning up the kitchen, I encountered Grace bringing seafood to prepare. She held a small basket in her hands, standing in front of the camera introducing the dinner menu of expensive seafood: abalone, lobster, octopus. According to immoral netizens, add a beer and it would be a complete gout combo. I walked past Grace, and she curiously glanced at the food I had just prepared. The simple, ordinary appearance clearly wasn't to her taste. Grace quickly covered her mouth and laughed softly, speaking to me in a gentle tone. "Maya is so skilled. You can make such eye-catching dishes from such simple ingredients. But the food on Zhuzhou Island is really better. You can taste nature's deliciousness without complex preparation." As she spoke, she enthusiastically showed me her basket full of high-end seafood. Her intention to show off was crystal clear without needing to say more. Preparing seafood isn't actually difficult, but their group was too fussy, repeatedly washing everything countless times before finally putting it on the table. Before eating, they didn't forget to take various photos with the beautifully arranged dishes, preparing to post on social media for likes. I had already finished 3 rice rolls, while they were just starting to put things in the hot pot. Just as I was washing dishes by the sink, Chase and Grace were sitting right across from me, eating while chatting intimately. Today's ingredients are really delicious, especially this baby octopus. I love chewy, crispy foods like this the most. Grace's voice was cheerful and lively, completely contrasting with Chase sitting across from her, full of calm composure. If you like it, eat more. When I was washing the food earlier, I discovered an extremely special blue octopus. Grace must try it for me later. In nature, creatures with unique colors are very rare, like blue roses and black pearls. I think only this special blue octopus is worthy of Princess Grace's status. After saying this, Chase deliberately lowered his voice, using the deep, warm, seductive tone that's very popular recently. I got goosebumps listening to it and just wanted to slap him hard to snap him out of his the top performance. If I felt this uncomfortable, Phoenix and Ian sitting at the same table felt even more like burying themselves underground. Every time they heard Chase call Grace Princess, they shuddered all over, getting goosebumps and grinding their teeth as if they wanted to execute both of them on the spot immediately. But Grace was extremely infatuated with Chase's sweet words. Before picking up food with her chopsticks, she deliberately waved at me, her voice full of smugness. Brother Chase, you're exaggerating, but Grace really wants to try this rare blue octopus and see how it tastes. When she mentioned this, I suddenly realized something was wrong. Earlier, I had been thinking about how to slap Chase back to his senses and completely ignored the words. Blue octopus, he had said. When I looked carefully again, sure enough, there were extremely prominent small blue rings on the octopus's body. Holy shit, isn't this a blue, ringed octopus? Eat one bite and tomorrow the whole village can prepare for a mass funeral. As soon as I recognized the problem, I immediately shouted a warning. Wet. You can't eat that. But Grace thought I was jealous of her, and her hands shook, causing the entire plate of octopus to slide into the hot pot. After finishing, she even put on a regretful act, shrugging and saying to me, "Sorry Maya, this is really rare. Unfortunately, I can't share it with you now." Oh god, this is completely over. I looked at the octopus that had mixed into the hot pot and immediately hurriedly explained to them how seriously dangerous this was. At this moment, an octopus from the plate accidentally splashed straight onto Chase's face. He wiped his face while laughing awkwardly, saying to me, "It's just one octopus, why so serious? Next time I encounter a blue octopus, I'll bring one back as a gift for you." His 3 sentences immediately concluded that this was just jealous female nonsense. This type of person really disgusted me. I didn't bother being polite anymore and immediately shot back, "Give me a blue octopus as a gift. Might as well wait for you to go to hell and bring it as an offering to the underworld king instead." Chase's smile immediately froze on his face, but he still stubbornly refused to admit defeat to me. I've met this type of person many times before. These guys who like to act superior, even if you burn them to ashes, their mouths will still be hard. I couldn't be bothered to argue with him and directly pushed him aside. Although Phoenix and the others really wanted me to lose face, this involved human lives. They immediately became serious again, putting down their chopsticks and sitting quietly. I gently tapped Ian on the shoulder across from me, signaling him to reopen the photo of the original ingredients from when they were preparing them. Ian had been sitting right next to Chase during the photo shoot, so the pictures were very clear. I just glanced at the photo once and immediately recognized that from the colors and patterns to the shape, this was definitely a blue, ringed octopus. Things had come to this point, but Chase still stubbornly refused to back down, still deliberately implying and provoking me. I don't know where Miss Wu got this safety knowledge from, whether it's reliable, or if it's been scientifically verified. But anyway, your starting point is good. Let's just be polite and respect women. It's just one pot of hot pot after all. If we don't eat it, we don't eat it. His words clearly implied that he was magnanimous and tolerant, while I was deliberately causing trouble unreasonably. Having said this much, I wasn't hesitant anymore. I turned to Phoenix and asked loudly, "Do you know why turtles live so long?" In an instant, Phoenix's brain quickly filtered through a series of answers and finally chose the most reasonable sounding one. Because of their special body structure. Seeing me shake my head, Ian immediately continued with a guess. Because their shells are thick, they have strong defensive capabilities, they're tough as nails. Grace also didn't want to be outdone, adding, "Probably because they move little, eat little, have special breathing methods, like some kind of breathing technique from fantasy novels. I still shook my head. Finally, Austin lost patience, raising his chin and snorting coldly. What does this problem have to do with me? Seeing no one could guess, I immediately announced the answer clearly and decisively. Because turtles never eat randomly. Because turtles talk little and do much, knowing how to listen to others' advice. Haven't you heard that saying? Listen to others' advice and you'll be well, fed for life. The live comment section immediately exploded. Haha, help me. Sister Wu is truly a genius at subtle roasting. Chase's face has turned green with anger. I've learned this. From now on, when anyone acts up in front of me, I'll definitely respond with this line. This is too savage. I've been disgusted with Chase for ages, always acting like he knows everything. Chase was still trying hard to use practical actions to prove the nickname Mr. No it all that netizens had given him. Unfortunately, right after that, he was slapped in the face by a marine biology expert from Grace's friend circle who texted to warn that the blue octopus was indeed the extremely poisonous blue, ringed octopus. Just like that, the fragrant seafood hot pot turned into a pot of poison that no one dared touch anymore. The show wanted to maintain authenticity, so they applied a self-reliance policy where all food was prepared by the guests themselves. The result was that Grace's group had been busy all evening with nothing to show for it. The seafood hadn't been eaten yet, but had already been cooked into a pot of poison. I calmly pointed to my rice rolls and asked gently, "Anyone want rice rolls?" Grace and Chase glanced at each other and arrogantly shook their heads, going upstairs to the second floor. Phoenix and Ian's eyes lit up, clearly eager to try. Austin still stubbornly snorted coldly. Huff, as if I'd want to eat your leftovers. What are you thinking? Cook your own food. Austin was stunned for a long while, finally exploding in anger. Maya, does Daddy have any instructions for you? Phoenix and Ian were used to this type of savage comeback from me, but hearing these two awkward lines of dialogue, both of them had to bite hard on each other's thighs to keep from laughing out loud. The live comment section exploded once again. Normally these guys are very professional and don't laugh easily, but they really can't hold it in anymore. Haha, what kind of demonic dialogue is this? One person clumsily wants to be the other's boyfriend, while the other clearly just wants to be the first person's father. Write this down immediately. From now on, when I encounter annoying perverts, whenever they ask anything, I'll just respond with "Does Daddy have any instructions for you?" The plan to form a group to boycott me hadn't even been implemented, before I defeated them one by one, killing it in the cradle. Phoenix and Ian had given up on their original goal, completely losing their fighting spirit. Currently, their number one goal was to protect their lives and health and get through the remaining 10+ days of filming safely. Yes, you heard right. Safety and health were now their top priority. The reason was simple, Saint No, all Chase's luck was truly terrible. Wanting to salvage his reputation after the poisonous blue octopus incident, he enthusiastically ran to the seafood market and bought back a basket of small crabs. When he brought the crabs back, Chase confidently announced these were special fresh sand crabs. Phoenix and Ian, hearing this, immediately panicked and dragged me over to check for safety. Sure enough, Chase had once again bought the wrong thing, bringing home poisonous devil crabs thinking they were sand crabs. Fortunately, devil crabs' toxicity depends on what they've eaten, so it wasn't clear whether they were actually poisonous or not. To avoid the risk of poisoning, the entire group reluctantly threw all the crabs in the trash. One mistake was one thing, but having made a second mistake, Chase still stubbornly insisted I was deliberately causing trouble for him. This time, Grace again called on expert friends to help identify them. Needless to say, Chase's face was once again bombarded repeatedly. After twice consecutively buying poisonous seafood by mistake, Phoenix and the others immediately removed Chase from the grocery shopping list and even listed him as a dangerous person. After all, I only attack when others provoke me first. As long as they behave and don't cause trouble with me, there's no danger at all. But Chase is different. He's always proactive and enthusiastic, full of sincerity and passion, always ready to send the next soul to meet their maker. I was washing dishes in the kitchen when Ian suddenly approached me, hesitantly saying an apology. His voice was too quiet, completely drowned out by the sound of running water. What did you say? Speak up a bit. I can't hear you. Having prepared mentally for this apology since earlier, Ian immediately wanted to bang his head and die. Seeing him standing there without saying anything more, I coldly ordered directly, "If you're not going to speak, then stand here and wash all these dishes." By reflex, Ian took the bowl I handed him, his face bright red, stammering to repeat once more, "Maya, I'm really sorry." I immediately responded casually, "Oh, it's fine. I wasn't planning to forgive you anyway, so you don't need to waste effort apologizing." Phoenix, who was crouched outside the door eavesdropping, nearly choked when he heard this. Just 3 short sentences were enough to leave someone speechless with no way to fight back. "Maya, you're truly a genius at comebacks." Just then, Austin happened to walk by and saw this strange scene. He immediately rushed into the kitchen, staring at Anne's face that was red as a shy maiden's, angrily questioning through gritted teeth. "What's going on that I can't hear? Why do you need to sneak into the kitchen to whisper?" The live comment section immediately became lively. "Good Lord. Can someone explain to me why the young master is going crazy with jealousy? Am I the only one who finds Sister Wu both cool and decisive? Who said apologizing means you have to forgive? I'm going to learn this ultimate rejection attitude. My instinct tells me the young master is about to get roasted again." Sure enough, I casually replied immediately, "Mind your own business, Daddy's personal affairs. Did you forget why turtles live long?" Austin immediately cursed me silently for 300 words in his heart, then resentfully glared at me before turning to fiercely glare at Ian too. The comment section exploded with laughter again. I knew it. The young master can't go a day without being roasted by Sister Wu or he gets itchy. Haha, help me. Why do I feel like the young master's glare at Ian is full of grievance? Like it's all that fox spirit's fault. My wife is scolding me again. The young master's inner thoughts. I almost lost my wife to a fox spirit, can't let this slide. Unlike other reality shows, Smart Dorm Life didn't confiscate the guests' phones. Everyone could freely follow online trends, convenient for building and adjusting their characters according to audience preferences. Grace's deliberately constructed image of a spoiled little princess didn't create much buzz. Fortunately, the princess and knight pairing with Chase attracted a small number of female fans who liked this romantic style. After discovering this, Grace and Chase became even more active in their public displays of affection. With increasing frequency, their fans happily nicknamed them, "No need to look for sugar. The main characters throw it in your face." But reality proved that too much of anything isn't good. Due to excessive continuous public displays of affection, some fans began to feel bored, suspecting both were deliberately overacting and being too fake. By the end of the show, Grace and Chase's CP fans began abandoning ship en masse. Conversely, Austin and I, thanks to our outstanding savage comeback performances plus the incomprehensible but extremely interesting interactive chemistry, quickly became the most beloved CP of the show. With the motto, "If I'm not happy, then no one else should be comfortable either," Grace immediately lost her composure. After dinner, she took out a die and suggested playing Truth or Dare. "Whoever rolls the lowest number has to choose between truth or dare, okay?" She said this while raising her eyebrows and looking straight at me. No way. I shook my head and walked straight upstairs to the second floor. This situation was completely beyond Grace's expectations. She stared in shock and couldn't help questioning me. "This is a group game. Why don't you want to participate?" Actually, she really wanted to say, "If you don't participate, won't all my preparation be wasted?" I leisurely replied, "It's already 9 p.m., valuable rest time for working people. Work hours are over, but you still want people to work overtime without paying overtime wages." Even Zhugliang would shed tears hearing this. Grace cursed me 500 words in her heart, finally exploding, "Fine, I'll pay you overtime. 3 hours, 10,000 yuan, is that enough?" Hearing this, my expression immediately did a 180-degree change, beaming like a spring flower. "Oh my boss, you should have said so earlier. However long you want to play, this employee will give it her all." Seeing me change faces faster than flipping through a book, Phoenix and the others immediately gave me a thumbs up in admiration. Absolutely amazing. Number 1. I humbly waved my hand, a small matter, basic operation, no need for praise. Grace wasn't easy to deal with either. Her eyes rolled around and she immediately proposed new rules. "Maya, since you're getting paid extra to participate in this game, unlike us, how about this? The 5 of us who aren't getting paid will form one team to face you. As long as any one of the 5 of us rolls higher than you, you lose. Of Course, if you think it's unfair, you can choose Phoenix and Austin for your team. No need. I can handle your whole group alone. Having more people would just be troublesome. Being rejected so decisively, Phoenix immediately put on a pitiful, hurt expression in front of the camera. Austin, sitting nearby, immediately made a sarcastic comment. Hemph. Careful not to talk too big. I'll make you kneel and beg for mercy later. Before starting, Grace reminded everyone of the rules once more. No matter what topics come up later, absolutely no one is allowed to get angry and flip out, okay? Anyone who can't answer has to do 10 push-ups. Then she deliberately turned to me with fake concern. Maya, is your health okay? I immediately made an okay gesture with my hand. In the first round, Grace's team rolled first. Chase got a 3, Phoenix rolled a 4, Grace got a 5, Ian also got a 5. When it was Austin's turn, amid the cheering of the whole group, he also successfully rolled a 5. When it was my turn, Grace deliberately reminded me, Maya, according to the rules, you need to roll a 6 to win. We're not deliberately using numbers to bully you. I gently shook the die and placed it down. Oh, a 6. You guys lost. You're kidding, right? Grace looked down and indeed saw 6 bright red dots on the table. According to the rules, I had the right to ask Chase a question. I immediately opened my mouth. When was the last time you paid for sex? As soon as the question ended, Phoenix immediately spat out all the tea in his mouth onto Ian's face across from him. Grace slipped off her chair and fell to the floor. Austin, who was playing with a fidget spinner in his hand, also startled and dropped it. The spinner flew across the table and hit Chase's weapon of crime directly. The guests' reactions, edited by post-production with slow motion effects and comedic sound effects, immediately made the show explode with laughter. Netizens laughed until they were pounding tables and chairs non-stop. 999, 999, absolutely amazing. Sister Wu's mouth definitely has a machine gun installed. Every word is lethal damage. Help me, is this really the truth or dare I usually play? How does it feel like going to hell for a day? Haha, no wonder this episode charges fees. Turns out the content is this explosive. Chase's heart felt like 100 camels were stampeding through it. It took him a long while to stammer back. Asking about private matters so directly is pretty weird. I immediately nodded and quickly translated his words into human language. I understand, you mean last night. Chase was stunned, never having encountered this type of trap before. He immediately stood up, planning to use his height advantage to intimidate and shut me up. Unfortunately, I was quick and agile, using a simple martial arts counter move to make him obediently kneel on one knee. If you can talk, don't use your hands. If you use your hands but can't beat a girl, that's pretty embarrassing. Looking at Chase's continuously changing expression as he knelt before me, Grace and the others immediately felt their eyes burn. Afraid of being misunderstood as really being about last night, Chase gritted his teeth, closed his eyes, and answered randomly, 3 days ago. As soon as the answer was out, Grace's expression flickered, but everyone was still shocked by what they'd just witnessed. So no one noticed in time. After being humiliated by me, Chase was determined to get revenge. But unfortunately, their whole group's luck was really terrible. Playing 10 consecutive rounds, they never once managed to turn the tables. In the second round, the loser was Phoenix. Afraid of being asked sensitive questions like Chase, he immediately chose Dare. I'll still be the one giving the challenge. Dare. Then kiss Ian on the lips for 10 seconds for me to watch. Phoenix immediately unleashed the power of his advanced age, standing up to perform 10 push-ups instead. In the third round, the loser was Ian. After hesitating for ages, he finally decided to choose truth. I looked down toward his lower region and asked directly, "Are you the hanging pepper type or the thermos bottle type?" Before Ian could answer, Austin beside him immediately bristled, exploding angrily. "Maya, shut up right now. I'll do 10 push-ups for him, consider this matter closed." In the fourth round, the loser was Grace. She chose Dare. I immediately spoke up. "How does 34D feel? Can I touch it for a bit?" Grace's face turned red as a ripe tomato, immediately snapping, "Get lost." I nodded. That was just off script. The real Dare is to transfer 50,000 yuan to my account. The comment section immediately exploded again. Haha, help me, I'm dying of laughter. Now I finally understand why Sister Wu initially refused to participate. Turns out she was afraid she was too powerful, and no one could handle her. Good lord, Sister Wu, please tone it down. If I keep laughing like this, my newly operated double eyelids are going to burst. Am I the only one who noticed that the young master always scores exactly 1 point higher than Sister Wu but has never won? I really hope the young master loses once. Not only did the audience notice, but I also discovered Austin's incredibly impressive dice rolling ability. So in the final round, Austin became their team's ace player, with the dice increasing from 1 to 3. Living up to his teammates' expectations, Austin performed a series of beautiful moves and rolled out 3 dice, each clearly showing a red 6 on the table. After losing so many times in a row, the rules had been changed. If I rolled the same numbers as them, I would lose. Seeing 3 sixes in front of her, Grace immediately got excited and happily discussed what difficult question to ask me. Austin raised his chin smugly. Maya, if you admit defeat now and apologize to everyone, I'll let you win this round. How about it? He was so excited his tail practically wanted to point straight up to the sky. I smiled calmly at him and gently lifted the dice cup in my hand. Inside were clearly 3 dice standing at an angle, each exactly 1 point higher than his. As I walked past Austin, I patted his shoulder gently, speaking in a tender, comforting voice. Sorry, but Daddy will always be your daddy. This dramatic turnaround immediately sent netizens into peak excitement. Austin hung his head in defeat, looking pitiful and dejected. I lost. Do you want truth or dare? Oh, I licked my lips meaningfully. Dare you? Tonight come to my room and let me he. After hearing this, the 4 people exhausted by the game immediately jumped up like carp flipping back to life in panic. This line was too intense. Should they really be hearing this? Meanwhile, Austin immediately performed 120 different actions in 10 seconds, so fast only after images were visible. The comment section was rolling with laughter. The young master is thinking, if I'd known the punishment was like this, I would have begged to lose from the beginning. Haha, young master's inner female voice. Just admit it, you like me, don't you? Help me. Sister Wu is playing too big. The young master is dying of embarrassment. The next morning, Austin stumbled out of my room, his legs weak and shaky. Phoenix and the others immediately swarmed over to pry for information. But as soon as they got close, he angrily drove them all away. Meanwhile, I stood leisurely on the balcony, looking at the white shirt hanging outside to dry, shaking my head and sighing. So using your abs to wash clothes only goes so far. After that memorable night of challenges, the relationship between Grace and Chase clearly cracked. Although initially their CP pairing was just for career development, during their cooperation, Grace had genuinely been moved by Chase's sweet words and attentiveness. She had almost cut off Chase's 3rd leg after discovering he was secretly playing the field. After the two turned against each other, Grace cried hysterically for hours on the rooftop. She cried so persistently that from when I fell asleep to when I woke up, she still hadn't stopped. Seeing this scene, I gently comforted her. Go ahead and cry, it's okay. After all, brains and large intestines are pretty similar. Mistaking one for the other isn't anything to be ashamed of. After hearing this, she immediately pounced over and hugged me tightly, soft and fragrant, indirectly helping me complete the 34D challenge that had been rejected earlier. Maya, tell me, am I really stupid? Not stupid, just blind. Grace immediately looked up at me with tear-filled eyes and ground out one word through her teeth. Scram. From that day forward, the relationships among the villa members began to change subtly. Grace no longer clung to Chase. Instead, she often brought snacks to learn profound life philosophies from me. Every time Austin encountered Grace, he would immediately start bickering and arguing loudly. Phoenix and Ian went from 2 strangers watching drama to becoming close friends, sharing wellness experiences, sleeping early, waking early, thermoses full of goji berry tea. Only Saint know it. All Chase, despite his poor character, remained greedy without limits, continuing to search everywhere for new opportunities, nearly getting completely scammed in the end. The show's plot developments were both dramatic and hilarious, leaving viewers unable to keep up. The 20 days of filming flew by like lightning, and the show quickly reached its conclusion. Although the guests weren't paying attention, they still unconsciously showed their most genuine sides in front of the cameras. From a show that no one cared about, Smart Dorm Life unexpectedly became an explosive phenomenon, the dark horse of this year's entertainment industry. The director enthusiastically invited me to become a permanent guest for the 2nd season, wanting to continue creating miracles. But I politely declined. From the beginning, the show's purpose wasn't pure. Continuing would just be repeating the 1st season's content, Though short, dramatic, and hilarious, it was already glorious enough. That brief glory will exist in viewers' hearts for a very long time. Okay, the above was just my elegant explanation. The reality is that in just one season, Ding Ding had generously deposited 100 million yuan into my Savage Comeback account. Converting at a 1-to-1 exchange rate with yuan, I'm now a wealthy lady who can live luxuriously without lifting a finger. When there's nothing to do, I travel, fly abroad to watch exciting performances, and conveniently admire the attractive masculine charm of foreign gentlemen. On the flight to France, I leisurely closed my eyes to rest and recharge. Suddenly, an extremely familiar voice rang beside my ear. "Maya, where exactly are you planning to sneak off to?" I turned my head to look. Sure enough, it was Austin. At this moment, he was wearing an elegant suit, much more refined than during the show, looking like a proper young master. Before I could answer, another familiar voice immediately rang out. "Sister, I haven't finished learning all those Savage Comeback techniques you taught me. I just transferred the tuition to your account. You have to keep teaching me." Hearing the voice, I turned to see Grace tossing her curly hair, taking off her sunglasses, and winking playfully. The two of them looked at each other and laughed loudly and cheerfully. I smiled, leisurely put on my headphones, and counted the 8 round zeros in my bank account. Outside the airplane window, the sky was vast and clear blue with beautiful scenery. I curved my lips in a satisfied smile. Indeed, the taste of money is wonderful. Never allow others to belittle or bully you. Sometimes you need to stand up for yourself with intelligence and wit rather than suffering in silence. However, the power of words should be used responsibly, not to attack others recklessly but to defend yourself when treated unfairly. The story also demonstrates that authenticity and humility are always valued more than showing off or arrogance. Characters like Austin and Grace ultimately learned to respect Maya when she revealed her true self. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. I truly appreciate your comments, feedback, and thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. See you again in the next story.